about what is on my mind this week. Okay, so again, the Torah reading this week is Parshat Mishpatim. Last week, we read the 10 statements, which most people call the 10 commandments, but they're not all commandments, but they are all statements. So Jewish translators seem to be the only ones who do justice to the Hebrew and the meaning of the words of the sixth statement, which is most recognizable as "you shall not kill." That's the way you all read it. We all read it in translations. But guess what? That is not what those Hebrew words mean. Lo tirtzach means, it doesn't mean at all you shouldn't kill. Its exact meaning is you shouldn't murder. Murder and killing are two different things. So this leaves no question that the Torah forbids murder, and there are no known exceptions to that. There aren't any. On the other hand, there are instances where the Torah permits killing. One example of this is when we need to kill a person in self-defense. That is perfectly acceptable. That is explicitly permitted in the Torah, which is why the translation of kill instead of murder is wrong. So the issue comes up in this week's portion, this week's Torah reading. It speaks of a thief tunneling into someone's home. All right, so if somebody's tunneling into your home, and if the homeowner kills the intruder, there is no blood guilt on the homeowner at all. So if somebody tunnels into your home and you kill the person tunneling in, there's no blood guilt on your hands, period. The Torah continues, if the sun rises on them, the homeowner is guilty. So if you do it in the dark, it's okay. But if you do it in the light, it's not okay. So the Torah seems to be teaching that if the intruder breaks into a home at night, when people are home, the murder is considered a threat the intruder is considered a threat to human life. Killing in self-defense is permitted. On the other hand, if the intruder breaks into the home during the day, when the sun is shining, when usually no one is home, the presumption is that the intruder is looking to steal property rather than harm anyone, period. This means the mitzvah is that we may not kill to save property, only lives. So no matter what they're stealing, you cannot kill them for that. So our sages discussed this verse at length in the Talmud. They concluded that if it's a clear sunny day, the intruder is not a threat to human life. So killing the intruder is definitely forbidden. There's nobody can get away with this. It's forbidden. I imagine a neighbor kid breaking into a home to steal a computer or a television. I know they didn't have those back then, but they have them now. So if you have a neighbor kid who breaks into your home and wants to steal your TV or your computer, and this is not a threat to human life because nobody's home. The assumption is, on the part of the kid, nobody's home. So it would be absolutely forbidden to shoot that kid. No way can you do that. Again, we can use deadly force to protect life, but not to protect property. So this is true not only in Jewish law, but also in most states. This is also true by the criminal and civil laws. So as much as we may want to, we cannot shoot someone who is stealing property. Can't do it. So not only is it permitted to kill someone who is in self-defense, our sages also permit killing a chodef. A chodef. What's a chodef? It's a pursuer, somebody who's pursuing you. If someone is pursuing an innocent person with the intent of taking their life, one can kill the pursuer. We can take the life of someone to save an innocent life. That's always going to be true. So we all know that people have misused this law over the years. And when Yigal Amir assassinated Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin in 1995, he justified the murder by claiming that Rabin was a rodef, a pursuer. He claimed that by signing the Oslo Accords to pursue peace with the Palestinians, Rabin was a threat to the lives of Israelis. Amir was sentenced to life in prison. So why, of all the things I could have talked about on this Shabbat, find in this Torah reading on this Shabbat, of all the so many things, it's so rich. Why did I choose to talk about this? For those who live under a rock, there is a situation going on in Israel that makes it relevant. Many countries in the world are accusing Israel of breaking the sixth commandment or the sixth statement in the way it retaliated against Hamas and going against Hamas's crimes against humanity on October 7th. It seems those countries ignore that Hamas mass murdered and raped and maimed and beheaded over 1,000 Israel civilians, including men, women, elderly, Holocaust survivors, young, and even infants, kidnapping hundreds more. There is a long discussion in rabbinic literature about the justification of war. Judaism speaks of a milchama reshut. What is milchama reshut? It's a war that you fight as an offensive war. You go to war to attack somebody else. And then there's a milchama mitzvah, which is a defensive war. It's a war you're supposed to fight because it's a mitzvah. So there's two kinds. To fight a war of self-defense is a commandment of the Torah, and it is a mitzvah to fight. It is compared to a thief tunneling in at night. A nation not only has the right to use deadly force to protect itself, the Torah actually commands it. In other words, God commands it. This is an important notion. We're not allowed to fight an offensive war, just a defensive war. So this statement, as in many Shabbatot in the past, many Israelis are forced to sleep in bomb shelters today as rockets are being launched by Hamas in the south and by Hezbollah in the north. Even so, Israel is being verbally attacked by much of the world for conducting a milchama mitzvah, a war of self-defense. The world doesn't want Israel to do this. So while Hamas targets civilians, Israel views civilian casualties as tragic. Hamas complicates things by placing its operational centers right in the middle of civilian populations and uses its civilians as human shields. This puts Israel in a very difficult position. Israel, like any other nation that has been attacked, must do what is necessary to defend its civilians. And in the meantime, we pray that the hostages are released right away, no more. Hamas sues for peace right away, no more. And it shouldn't matter what the religion is, what the ethnicity is, what social or sexual status people have, or who live in this troubled region once and for all. Shouldn't matter. Once again, when defining innocent life, killing is sometimes a necessary evil. This has always been a sad reality in our unsafe world. May the Messianic era begin during our lifetime, bringing an end to war, disease, and even more important, lashon hara, gossip, evil gossip, and all this that we find abhorrent in our lives. And I want to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.